The diary that predicted murders. Rain hammered against the windows of the old city library as 19-year-old Ayan Malik pushed open the rusted iron gate. The place had been abandoned for nearly 8 years after a fire destroyed the upper floors, but rumors still surrounded it. Some said they heard whispers inside at night. Others claimed the library lights flickered even though the electricity had long been disconnected. Ayan didn't believe in ghost stories. He was a struggling journalism student desperate for material that could make his online channel popular. Urban legends attracted views, and the abandoned Sterling Library was perfect for his next video. The massive wooden doors groaned as he stepped inside. Dust floated through the cold air like tiny ghosts. Shelves stood broken and tilted, and burned pages covered the floor like dead leaves. His flashlight beam swept across the darkness while thunder echoed outside. "Perfect," he whispered, recording everything on his camera. The deeper he walked, the quieter the storm outside seemed to become. It was as if the building swallowed every sound. At the back of the library, hidden behind collapsed shelves, Ayan noticed a staircase leading underground. He frowned. According to the old blueprints he had researched, there was no basement beneath the library. Curiosity pulled him downward. The steps creaked beneath his feet until he reached a narrow room lined with black shelves. Unlike the rest of the building, this room looked untouched by fire. In the center stood a wooden desk illuminated by a single candle that somehow still burned. Ayan froze. On the desk rested a dark leather diary covered in strange symbols. The moment he touched it, the candle extinguished itself. The room dropped into complete darkness for one terrifying second before his flashlight flickered back on. His heartbeat quickened. Nervously laughing to himself, he opened the diary. The first page contained a date. October 17, 1998. Below it was a short paragraph written in messy handwriting. "Tonight, Officer Daniel Hayes will die beneath the bridge on Hollow Street. His throat will be cut and no one will hear his final scream." Ayan stared at the page. "What the hell?" He quickly searched the name online. His skin turned cold when he discovered an old newspaper article. Officer Daniel Hayes had indeed been murdered exactly as described on October 17, 1998. Ayan's hands trembled as he turned the page. Another entry, another murder, another victim. Every single one matched real unsolved killings from the past 20 years. The storm outside intensified. Thunder rattled the underground room while fear slowly crawled into Ayan's chest. Whoever wrote this diary either knew about the murders before they happened or caused them. Then he reached the final written page. The date was tomorrow's date. His breathing stopped. At 11:47 p.m., Mia Laurent will be found dead inside apartment 407. Her body will lie beside the shattered window. The witness will arrive too late. Ayan immediately grabbed his phone and searched the name. Mia Laurent was a real person living only a few miles away. He found her social media profile within seconds. She was alive, posting photos, laughing with friends. "This is impossible," he whispered. But deep down, he knew the diary had never been wrong. The next evening, Ayan drove across the city while rain poured from the sky. The digital clock on his dashboard read 11:18 p.m. His fingers tightened around the steering wheel as anxiety consumed him. He had tried calling the police earlier, but they dismissed him as a prank caller. Now he had only one chance to stop the murder himself. Apartment 407 stood inside a crumbling building near the riverfront. The hallway lights flickered as Ayan rushed toward her door. He knocked repeatedly. No answer. "Miss Laurent," he shouted. "You need to open the door?" Still nothing. Then he heard it. A scream. A violent crash echoed from inside the apartment. Ayan slammed his shoulder against the door until the lock finally broke. He stumbled into darkness. Furniture lay overturned. Cold wind blew through the shattered window, and there she was, Mia Laurent, dead. Blood spread beneath her body while rain soaked the floor around her. Her eyes stared blankly toward the ceiling. Ayan staggered backward in horror. The diary was real. Then a voice whispered behind him. "You were too late." Ayan spun around. A tall figure stood in the corner of the room, hidden beneath a black coat. Its face remained invisible in the shadows. Before Ayan could react, the figure disappeared into the darkness beyond the hallway. Police sirens soon filled the streets below. Within hours, Ayan became the prime suspect. Security cameras showed him entering the apartment moments before the murder. His fingerprints covered the broken door. And worst of all, there was no evidence anyone else had been inside. No one believed his story about the diary. Detective Lena Cross, the lead investigator, questioned him for hours. "You expect me to believe a magical book predicts murders?" she asked coldly. "I'm telling the truth," Ion insisted desperately. "You have to listen to me." But even he sounded insane. The diary, however, terrified Detective Cross when she finally examined it herself. Every murder described within it happened exactly as written. There were details never released to the public, information only the killer could know, yet the final pages were empty, blank, as if waiting for future deaths. 3 nights later, Ion sat alone in his apartment while police monitored him closely. He couldn't sleep. Every creak in the building made him jump. The diary rested on his table like a living thing. He wanted to destroy it, but every attempt failed. He tried burning it, yet the pages refused to catch fire. He threw it into the river, only to find it lying on his doorstep the next morning. Then, at exactly 2:03 a.m., the diary opened by itself. A new sentence slowly appeared across the empty page, as though written by invisible hands. Ion watched in horror. At 2:17 a.m., Detective Lena Cross will die inside her vehicle beneath Ravenside Bridge. "No," he whispered. He grabbed his phone immediately and called her. No answer. Again, no answer. Panic exploded inside him. He raced toward his car and sped through the empty streets while rain blurred the windshield. Every red light felt like torture. The dashboard clock changed to 2:15 a.m. Almost there. The bridge appeared ahead through the storm, and then he saw it. Detective Cross's police car parked beneath the bridge. Ion jumped out and ran toward it, screaming her name. But halfway there, he froze. The detective sat motionless behind the wheel. Blood streamed down the inside of the windows. Her throat had been slit. Ion stumbled backward in terror. Then slowly, the police car headlights turned on by themselves. Inside the vehicle, Detective Cross's lifeless eyes shifted toward him. Ion's blood ran cold. That was impossible. Dead bodies don't move. The car door creaked open, and from the darkness behind it, the same shadowy figure emerged once more. This time, Ion saw its face. His own face. He stared at himself standing beneath the bridge, smiling unnaturally wide. The copy of him held another black diary beneath its arm. "You still don't understand," the double whispered. "The diary doesn't predict murders, it chooses who commits them." Ion backed away in disbelief. No, that's impossible." The figure tilted its head and smiled wider. "Every owner becomes part of the story eventually." Suddenly, flashes of memory slammed into Ion's mind. Violent images, blood, screams, a knife in his hand. Faces begging for mercy. His stomach twisted. The diary had not shown him future murders. It had shown him memories. His memories. He dropped to his knees, shaking violently while the shadow version of himself slowly stepped closer. "The next page is waiting," it whispered. The diary opened once more. Fresh ink appeared. At 2:31 a.m., Ion Malik will disappear beneath Ravenside Bridge, and the diary will find a new owner. The storm roared louder. Then the lights beneath the bridge suddenly went out, and Ion screamed. The story ends. The diary that predicted murders. Please subscribe the Era of Mysteries for more horror mysteries.